I
think you got to talk more into the mic. There we go.
Take two. What's up, Tree City Church?
What's up, guys?
We are excited to launch our first ever youth ministry podcast. We're calling it Hear This. We'll talk more about the name in a little bit, but hey, we just want to say we're glad you're here. We're glad you're joining us, and we have an exciting show for you today. Ryan and I have been doing a lot of research about what do you do with podcasts? What do you do? And that's the first thing that every podcast said to say is that we're excited. We have a good show. We have a great script. It looks like this. It's actually just a timer, so we can cut Ryan off.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of that, for sure.
We're going to do our best to keep these between 15 and 20 minutes, but we just wanted to create a platform to share life with you.
Yeah, we just thought it was really important to have multiple ways that we can connect with you guys and keep the kind of the family vibe, especially in this time and that we're in society with, you know, COVID-19 and all of that. It's crucial that we are finding ways to just connect with one another. It can be very easy to isolate ourselves and become lonely and not put it forth the effort to actually connect. And so we wanted to give you just one way. It's a simple click of a button. You can just sit there and watch and connect with not only us, but with the whole youth group, everybody that's watching. This is just a great way for you guys to kind of stay connected. And it's gonna be a great time for us to kind of just talk about things. Yeah,
our kind of idea for this podcast is just to use it as a springboard to talk about things that maybe we don't have time to talk about on Wednesday nights during youth group, talk about current events, things that are happening around us.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things of Wednesday night, like it's great and we have a great time, but sometimes, especially for the speaker, sometimes you have, you know, just one topic you got to stick to, and just kind of a message.
Well, Ryan, that's what most of us do, stick to one topic.
Yeah. If you've ever heard me preach, that's not what I do. I go on rabbit holes, but this is just a time for us to kind of break free from that mold and kind of the formality. Not that that's not a good thing. It's a great thing. But this is just a time for us to kind of just relax and have a conversation. And that involves you guys. It may seem that we're the only ones talking, but we are going to have ways for you guys to participate in that as well. You can send in questions, comments, concerns, but we're going to be talking about real stuff, like Pastor Zach was saying, real issues, current issues. And this is kind of just an informal way of doing that. Sometimes for me, I know for me personally, I engage and learn best in kind of an informal setting, and you can ask any of my professors for sure. Like I want to have conversation, I want to have dialogue. I like a two-way conversation, and so that's kind of one of the main purposes for this.
Yeah, the second step in our research for learning how to create a podcast was determining what is your season. And I guess you have seasons and then you have episodes, and each season is, I guess, between 10 to 12 episodes long. And so we're naming our first season, I guess, COVID-19.
Yeah.
It's kind of fitting for when we're starting all this, but this has kind of been a pipe dream that we've had for a little over a year now, and it's fun to finally be able to make it a reality. But we want to hear what are some of the seasons, the topics, the things that you want us to engage with, to talk with. Some of the examples of seasons would be stories, doing a series on stories where we hear other youth staff stories, your stories. And again, this isn't just a platform for us, it's a platform for you guys to engage in as well. Ryan, do you have any other examples of maybe a
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of just carrying on with the theme and the seasons. I think one of the most important things and cool things that we're going to be doing, Pastor Zach kind of hit on, is the whole stories thing. We are going to be interviewing people. We're going to be hearing people's stories. You guys don't want to hear just Pastor Zach and I talking. We get it. Like, I don't want to hear myself talk as much as I do.
You like it, don't lie.
I do love it. Yeah, I do. You can ask McKaylee. I love it. But we're going to be asking people not only from within our church, but maybe some people from outside in the community, people doing cool things, people that have incredible stories that can help inspire us, help challenge us, help grow us. And so this is a time where we can do that. And like I said, it's just breaking out of the formality of, a regular church service, which we desperately need. It's crucial for our Christian life. But we, like, this whole podcast, this whole thing is just kind of wrapped around the idea of what are other ways that we can engage and we can connect and we can be the body of Christ, while having fun, while goofing around, while watching Pastor Zach and I make fools of ourselves and getting out of our comfort zones a little bit. But what are those ways that we can do that, right? And so this is just one way that we've kind of figured, why not? Like, how cool would it be to have a great, not only face-to-face community here at the church, but an online presence as well, and an online community where, we can talk.
So drop your ideas, your suggestions. We still need a good intro song into our Instagram. We're gonna have a questions box up today, so make sure you engage with that, because again, we want to do what you guys want. And so what are some of those things that you want to hear and for us to engage with? The third thing that I learned in all of our research for how to create a podcast is to go out and find sponsorships. And so this is our first one. And the really, really cool thing is we already have a sponsor. Our first episode ever is sponsored by Tree City Church and the members of Tree City Church. And so thank you so much for tithing. All jokes aside, continue to give. Go to the website, go to the app. Tithing is an essential discipline that we need to start now doing if you don't do it yet. And so we want to encourage you to just continue to give. Don't give to the podcast.
I mean,
give to the church.
You can give it to me.
Ryan wants a raise.
I do.
And so thank you, Tree City Church. The second thing I want to thank is all this is made possible through your generosity. I feel like we're a PBS station and viewers like you. But also Jackson.
Dude, man.
Jackson is the man. He helped us get this up and running. He actually just took off his jacket. Don't worry, ministry safe. And he is wearing this awesome shirt that we're going to have him come step in front of the camera.
Right now.
And it says Yoda Man. And Jackson is the man. So make sure you give Jackson some love.
In front of the camera.
In front of the camera.
Keep going.
All the way.
Now,
Yes. Give it up for Jackson.
Okay.
Today is a big day for Jackson. He just took his first selfie as well. And let me tell you, it was on point. So today, March 24th or whatever today's date is. Oh, it's not the 24th.
It is the 25th.
The 26th. Ryan, he's not a college graduate yet. Days of the week.
That comes with the diploma.
Dude, speaking of all that, I'm sorry that your school year traditionally got cut short.
I mean, it just kind of goes into like we were saying, the season that we're in. You guys saw on the Instagram, we kind of posted this thing about loss.
Dude, what are you, like 28 years old? You called it the Instagram.
Sorry, the gram.
The gram,
dog. Yeah, word up. I almost, did you say 28?
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm almost 28.
Woo,
old. But we went in on the gram talking about loss and what we're grateful for. And in this season, it's very easy to only focus on the things that we are losing, which is, we are. There's people all over the world that are losing a lot during this time. And there's people even here. And so, kind of thinking about myself and in my story, and my losses are very minimal compared to other people in the world, but I'm still experiencing type of loss. So like for me personally, and for a lot of people in my circle, my senior year of college, right, that I've worked, so hard to get to is kind of being cut short. And in all honesty, I am experiencing a little bit of loss. Like I said, it's not nearly compared to other people's, but like I'm losing last senior experiences, that I would have. We won't be holding graduation, which I know for a lot of people is a big issue. I tend to be on the side of, email me the diploma, I'll print it off myself. But it's that experience.
Let me guess, you're also the guy that's like, C's get degrees.
Yeah. Hey, dude, even, never mind. Shout out to my professors who pushed me through. But yeah, it's this season right now where we are in a season of loss. But in that season of loss, like, we are still able to look for the things that we are gaining, the things that we are grateful for, the things that we have. So I'm losing the experience of the last little bit of my senior year, but I look back and I've had 4 solid years at NNU, awesome years at NNU that have shaped me and pushed me to be the person I am now. I've made friends that I will have for the rest of my life. And so even though I'm in this little season of loss with that, I am able to look and see, well, I have gained so much from that. And although I won't be able to have a traditional graduation, I'm able to just kind of look past that. And I know a lot of seniors are. But what I think is important in this time also is being able to name and experience loss, right? So we sometimes tend to just push it aside real quick and think that, oh, we're doing something wrong if we are grieving or if we're expressing our loss, that we're, not where I should be all hopeful and I think it's great. Yeah, we do need to have, as Christians especially, like, we do need to have hope, but I think we need to be able to embrace our loss and embrace kind of the times of suffering in this world. Because if we don't truly embrace it, how are we supposed to help and step into other people's suffering if we haven't learned to deal with it ourselves? And so I'm experiencing loss, but I'm learning to kind of dwell in that loss a little bit, to really feel that. And I think when you learn to really feel that, the grace and the love and the hope that comes from Christ is that much more powerful and that much more evident in your life when you've learned to kind of sit in the grieving and the loss of what's going on. So
yeah, that's good stuff, and that was really the heart behind that devotional. If you don't know what we're talking about, go back to the Gram, check out the post. It's called Naming Loss. Yeah. But I think, Ryan, what you just said is good, that naming loss does 2 things for us. The first is it helps us identify emotions that we're feeling, right, and it was really cool to see you guys interact with that post. I know I got lots of emails. We got quite a few DMs. Some of you guys posted and used the hashtag that we're talking about. But I think what it does is when we name loss, it helps put our emotions a little bit in check and helps us realize that, in this journey, we aren't alone.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That there are other people that are grieving the exact same things that I'm grieving. And some of those people are 20, 30, 40 years older. And some of them are younger. But I think it's a beautiful demonstration that we're all in this life together. And I think the other really important thing that naming loss does for us is it gives us permission to walk into each other's brokenness. Right. When we know what we're feeling, when we've identified these things in our life, we're able to walk into other people's lives and walk through and hold hope, like you were just saying, but also to identify the areas in our life that we need to allow others in, and
yeah, absolutely.
And for me, it's easy to dwell on loss, especially during seasons like this. But I think it's also important for us to be reminded about how grateful we really are, and absolutely. I think that's been one thing that I've been challenged with over the last week and a half is just looking at the small things, added family time, things that frankly haven't maybe been a priority in my life, I've been able to re-examine some of those things, things like I work out, I started working out.
Yeah,
I'm really, really sore. Ryan challenged me to do 10 push-ups. Dude, I don't even think I could do one right now.
That's okay. If you rewatch that video, I think I only got like 6.
Shout out to Reese. Reese, you had the best.
Dude, that was so funny.
Reese's was like, he actually bought a 12-pack of like push pops.
Yeah, that was
and
so
was eating
good.
those for his 10 push-ups.
So
good
funny.
work, man. But I think it helps us realize that we do have a lot to be thankful for during kind of these dark days of uncertainty. And this week I've been reflecting a lot about that idea of naming loss and thinking about what's to come in the next couple of weeks, especially in the church. Things like Easter, right? Easter is a really, really high holiday that we celebrate. And what does that look like for us? But what I've been reminded of more and more is what's the true meaning of Easter. As I'm learning to simplify things, I've been reminded of what Easter is truly about. And as I've been kind of reflecting upon that, I can't help but think of Winter Retreat and a song that we sang. In the lyrics, it talks about from the heights of heaven, Jesus stepped down to this earth, and the song's called How Great Is Your Love. And I've just been reminded over and over of a God that loves us so much that he sent his son to journey through life with us, and in the midst of loss, seasons like this, it's easy for us to go, where is God in the midst of all of this? And I've just been reminded, going back to John 1, the series that we've been in all school year, that for God so loved the world that he sent his son to make his dwelling among us, that we won't go through life alone, that whatever emotion we're feeling, loneliness, depressed, maybe we're excited for not being in school right now, but God promises to be with us and near us no matter where we're at in the journey.
I think that, I've said it to other people during this time, but I think that's kind of one of the only things we can hold on to right now in this time of loss and uncertainty, is the fact and the promise that God is always going to be with us. I think that as Christians sometimes, and this is just getting into the real, my personal opinion, I think as Christians sometimes when we face hardships or we come into issues like this, we are so easy to just throw scripture at it and try to justify things and just make everything okay, which is not a bad thing. Don't hear me say that. But what I want to challenge Christians to kind of admit to themselves and be okay with is sometimes it just is not okay. Sometimes we're in situations where that one Bible verse isn't going to justify it. Sometimes people are going through things where they may know that God is there, but they just need to sit and just be. And we as Christians, as fellow just people living this world, we need to be okay with sitting in that suffering and not always having the right Bible verse, or not always having the right story to tell, just sitting there with that person. And so in this time, I just see so many posts of, just be happy, just like look for the good. And I think that's great. We do need to be looking for the good, but sometimes people, they just need to be told like, this sucks, and I see that. But I see you and I'm here for you. Just like God is here for you always, I will be here with you. I think that's something that we as the Christian community, the Christian family, we need to kind of do a better job at, of just taking a step back and being like, this is a hard situation. That's one of the things we value as Tree City Church, the saying, it's okay to not be okay. Yeah, exactly.
We believe in a God that transforms every aspect, but sometimes it takes the community, of just sitting during those seasons. So Shout out to Adam. Adam just called me. Sorry for rejecting your call, Adam. Thanks for the rough transition as well.
Cause,
I mean, like, we're trying to be spiritual, Adam, for once, and you interrupted us. But we just wanted to quickly just unpack the name of our podcast, and it's Hear This. We've gotten a lot of feedback of how ironic that is. I'm hard of hearing, all that jazz.
That's funny.
But
actually.
if you've been around on Wednesday nights, one of us, our youth staff, students, most nights we get up, and at the end of the night, we articulate in some way something to the effect, if you hear one thing, hear this. You know, and we go on to talk about that you are so loved by so many adults in this room.
Yeah.
But more importantly, you're loved by God. And that's really the heart of our podcast, and all that we're going to talk about, all that we're going to do, and all that we do as Christians is that we come to some type of understanding that we are loved by God, and that God calls us his own.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of the heart behind this podcast. And so we want to say thank you. Make sure you click subscribe, all of those things. That was that was step number 4 on the YouTube. We don't have a YouTube channel yet, but Jackson promised he's going to get us one today to post this on. So again, huge shout out to Jackson. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great week.
See you guys.